Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, Stop the Internet Podcast. I'm your host, Kelee.
And I'm Tricia.
And today we're answering the question, is ignorance bliss? Tricia and I are cousins, by the way. The first episode that we recorded together, I kind of messed up all the audio, so it was never posted, but that was where we introduced Tricia for the first time and explained that we are cousins. So, we're cousins. Trish, the fans want to get to know the hosts. So I've been asking everyone a fact about themselves, and maybe the fact that you just told me would be funny.
Oh, okay.
Share. Or you could share a real one, and then...
Okay. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, when people say, what's your favorite song? And you're like, suddenly,
Yes,
I have never heard music.
Exactly.
I have some very random and strange fun facts. I guess one that's, like, relevant to the season. For all of, like, fall, I've kept a bowl of candy corn in my car, and I eat it while I drive. So, in other words, like, I'm a psychopath.
I like that. That's fun.
That's my fun fact. I love candy corn.
I remember when we were in high school and Instagram first came out. I remember this was when getting 11 likes so that it didn't just say the usernames and it said 11 likes. That was like the big thing because you had like literally 10 followers.
It'd be like, and like 12 others.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I remember Tricia would post the like simplest stuff and she would get like 40 likes and we thought she was famous. I remember you posted a picture that had text over it and it said, "Hello, October."
Oh, yes.
It killed it on Instagram. Absolutely slayed. And then another one, you posted a picture of candy corn, like a detailed
did
photo
I?
of candy corn.
I probably deleted it. Like,
but it
too
got
painful.
so many likes.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
And so many was probably like 15 or 20.
Yeah.
But you were the Instagram star
Yes.
back then.
Yeah. Original influencer.
Yes.
But yeah, what I had just told Kelee before we started recording, so she told me the topic that is ignorance bliss, and I said that I have actually been called blissfully unaware before. So it was by like a friend of a friend, so I didn't even really like know him that well, and he said it right to my face, which the woman was too stunned to speak. I didn't know what to say. I literally was like shocked.
I don't know how I would respond to that, but
Yeah.
from an outsider's perspective, I would disagree with that statement. I think you are very well educated.
Thank you.
And you're not unaware.
Thank you.
Maybe
I
you're
try
just,
not to be.
Maybe you're just blissful and
I'll take it.
that person was just a hater.
Yeah. Honestly, probably.
I thought of this topic today because I heard this question. It's a would you rather, but I think it sparks a good conversation. So, would you rather be completely in love with your partner and have your absolute dream life with them and a perfect blissful relationship, but they cheat on you constantly, but you never find out? So you have this perfect life, dream partner, you're crazy in love with them, but they constantly cheat on you.
Okay.
But you don't know it. You're blissfully unaware. Or would you rather have a completely faithful partner, but anyone you ever date, you always just feel about them. You never feel completely in love with them, but they're all 100% faithful to you.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
Isn't it so hard?
Oh my gosh. I feel like the second one for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know, because I feel like it's not unrealistic to be in a marriage where you aren't crazy in love and you're just like, but you could be like best friends, but you're not like.
That's a good point. Okay.
And like you're still happy.
Yeah, and you're not getting cheated on every day.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be so sad for me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm trying to manifest my dream life and I'm like, oh, perfect partner. I guess that wouldn't be my dream life though if I'm getting cheated on. I think this might be really bad and maybe I will learn something in the future that will make me think otherwise. But if nobody knew and the only person that knew that I was getting cheated on was my husband, I might choose that.
Yeah.
Because really, how does it affect you
Right.
if you don't know about it? But if everyone else knew about it and people were like talking behind your back, like, oh, she's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's doing her so wrong and she is blissfully unaware in a negative way. I'm like, that would suck. But just to be in the relationship and nobody else knows, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I know, that's hard.
It's one of those things where I don't want either of them, but that's the point
Right.
of the question.
Right.
We should do a poll. I think you can do polls on Spotify.
I think you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to start actually doing them after episode. So we'll do a poll for that one. So would you pick the second one? You'd pick the partners?
We'll stick with that. That was like my gut reaction.
Okay.
If I think about it more, obviously I'm gonna like probably go back and forth. But
yeah. I think my gut reaction is to have the partner that I'm in love with only if nobody knows and there's only one person that knows it's happening and it's him. Okay.
I could see that.
Maybe I'm so wrong. Maybe I do choose the other one. Okay. Maybe our topic today and hearing these stories will help us decide if ignorance is bliss. Okay, let's jump into it. I've been informed by a solicitor that my husband is having an affair. Yesterday morning, I was contacted by a solicitor. I was confused because I don't have any need for one for anything. She told me that her client is seeking a divorce from his wife due to the wife having an affair. Their investigator found the affair is with my husband, and the client asked the solicitor to inform me since my husband is married. She provided me with proof of the affair. My brother-in-law is to be married on Saturday. My husband is the best man, and he is already there to assist with everything. Me and my 5-month-old daughter were supposed to leave Friday morning to join them. My husband is unaware that I know. I am shocked, but the proof is right in front of my eyes. I haven't told anyone, but I have asked my sister to come over after work. I'm going to ask if my daughter and me can stay with her. I don't think I can face him at the wedding. I don't want to hear excuses. My sister's husband is a solicitor, and while he does not do divorces, I'll ask if he can recommend someone. I have to talk to my sister, but I'm mostly just getting my thoughts out here because I feel entirely scattered.
Oh my God. Wait, 5-month-old baby?
Yeah.
No.
And then OP. OP, by the way, stands for original poster, so it's the person that originally posted the story. OP's brother is getting married, so she can't just dump her husband and never talk to him again because in a few days, he's the best man in her brother's wedding.
Right, so it's not like she can skip the wedding either.
Right. I think overall in this situation, ignorance is not bliss because you would want to know, but would you rather find out before their wedding or after?
So for the sake of the day itself, I would want to find out after. But then he's in all the pictures, he's in the videos, and your memories of that wedding day are linked with him.
Exactly.
In some form, not like he took over the day, but yeah. He'll be there in your memory along with the wedding day.
Yeah. I guess it depends on if the brother would kick him out of the wedding if he knew, but I feel like that wouldn't happen because like OP said, he's already there helping with wedding things. I'm guessing the wedding is not in their hometown. There is an update for this one.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Update. I told my husband that I had been exposed to COVID and could not attend the wedding. My sister helped me pack and she is letting me and my daughter stay with her until I find a flat. When my husband returned home on Monday, there was a note telling him that I knew about the affair. The husband of the other woman was going to be filing for divorce later that week, and I would not be far behind. My sister's husband is a solicitor, and he recommended a divorce solicitor to me. I guess they're using the word solicitor. Is that a lawyer?
I guess
in another
so.
country?
Yeah, I guess this is somewhere
or an
in
attorney.
Europe.
Yeah. My husband and I both have jobs. We don't own a home. At the advice of my solicitor, I opened a new bank account for myself, but I did not touch any of our joint accounts. I'm not stopping my husband from seeing our daughter, and my solicitor said the law will favor sharing of custody. Unless it is about our daughter, I told my husband to have his solicitor talk to mine. I won't discuss anything else with him. Once we have been separated for 2 years, we can get a divorce. My solicitor said there is no way to shorten the time requirement. What? You can't get a divorce for 2 whole years?
I guess, yeah, this must be in a different country.
Okay.
I didn't know that, though. That's a thing at all.
What? Yeah, so she has to be legally married but separated from this guy for 2 years?
Maybe I wonder if that's, for the sake of saving people money. Because what if they pay for, all of the, fees surrounding a divorce and then decide to get, maybe they need to, have this separation.
That's a good point.
For 2 years and make sure it is, actually what they want.
Okay. That makes sense.
Oh my God, that's crazy. No, so I would not miss my brother's wedding though. I would tell my brother and I would say take him out of the wedding, and then your next best guy in your bridal party, that's your best man now. Like, sorry. I wouldn't let him enjoy that wedding day.
Yeah.
And be in all the pictures.
Exactly.
And
You're
me
so right.
miss. Yeah.
You're so right. He doesn't deserve
to
be there.
Mm-mm. I would also, I mean, she told her sister. I would tell my brother next, and then I would tell the husband and ask and confront him about it too.
Yeah.
And ask him about it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think that, I mean, maybe she did the right thing for her.
Yes.
For herself.
Yeah.
And maybe she's not that close with her brother, so she didn't care to miss the wedding.
Right.
But I totally agree. I would not miss my sibling's wedding over some cheating loser.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Ugh.
That is like, I love it though, where she's like, yep, we're not talking. Like, I left him a note. Like, holy crap.
No question.
Good for you, girl.
Yes, facts. Yeah, I think I would want to know all the information beforehand, and then I would use it to my advantage. I almost feel like she kind of cut him some slack by not confronting him sooner. I feel like it would have been more hard-hitting if he was at that wedding and confronted in front of everyone. And then been like, you're not the best man.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
wow.
a movie.
Crazy. Moving on. I found out my father had an affair a decade ago. What's the best resolution for this? I just recently discovered that my father had an affair a decade ago. The mistress from the past is trying to reach my dad, possibly for child support. We will request for DNA if ever. I'm currently at the stage of feeling the pain. As a child, I feel so betrayed and cheated on. My brothers told me to keep it a secret since it will ruin our family and it will make our mother angry, which may lead to separation. My father is now depressed. My brothers advised me that they will properly or legally handle the problem. It hurts, since I love my mother and father so much. It's hard to see that my mother is not knowing that something bad is happening right now. I feel like I'm cheating on her too. I also know what it feels like to be cheated on. I can't deny that my father is a great one. He never hurt us. He always provided our needs and wants, and he loves us. I'm torn if I should tell my mother. Cons, it may ruin our family. Or shall I keep it a secret, as my brothers will manage to solve the problem? Cons, we will be living the same lives, but with dark secrets. I hope I can have some realistic advice. Oh, that's so hard, because it was 10 years ago. So it's like, it's such a hard question, because obviously cheating is bad, but if it was a one-off occurrence 10 years in the past and everything else is perfect, is ignorance bliss for this mother, for the wife? And if it was me, am I so ignorant? I kind of think ignorance would be bliss.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Maybe not in this situation because the kids know.
Right.
But once again, if the dad was the only person that knew, and then he obviously changed his behavior and bettered himself, he no longer cheats on her, I'm like,
right.
Is it so dumb of me to think that I just wouldn't even want to know? And
No, I agree. I think that was 10 years in the past. And if the children are old enough to like handle it themselves, then like they've probably been married for a very long time. It sounds like the children are adults.
Yeah.
So you would be ruining like a multi-decade marriage.
Right.
Possibly. Like, is it worth it?
It's hard too, because it's like, yeah, if you told your mom, in theory, you would be ruining the marriage, but it would actually be the dad ruining it.
Yes.
But I guess, is it worth letting the dad ruin it when it was so far in the past?
Right. And if he hasn't done it for 10 years since,
right.
I don't know, I probably wouldn't tell my mom, and I would just like go to therapy.
I think I would encourage my dad to tell my mom, but you know what? We don't know the mom. So what if the mom would rather know? Yeah. And to her, ignorance is not bliss, and she would always choose to receive the information. So in that case, she deserves to know. So you probably should tell her. Okay, I think I would encourage my dad to tell the mom and really push him to do that. And if he decided not to, I think then I would talk to the mom.
Oof.
It would be so hard, but some of the comments were saying that if you were to not tell her and keep it a secret, and then she found out later, and she found out that all of her children knew, she would feel betrayed by not only the husband, but all of her children as well.
That's true.
Which would be so sad for the mom.
Yeah, that's like a huge risk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I think if it was me, I wouldn't want to know unless all of my kids and other people knew. And if everyone knew, then I would want to know too.
Yeah.
But then it's so complicated because I would want to know unless I was like 85.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because the children sound older, it sounds like the parents are older.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is it worth it?
Right.
At this point in life.
Right. Yeah, maybe if I was 65 and older, I wouldn't want to know. But if I was 65 and younger, I would want to know. And why I feel that way, I cannot explain. Right. I don't know. It's almost like when you get to a point in your life, and I am not 65 or 75, so maybe I'm completely wrong about this, but it's like all that stuff doesn't even matter anymore because you're just living your golden years and you just want bliss. Whereas if you knew in the moment, I don't know, but then if she found out in the moment, they would have probably gotten divorced 10 years ago.
Right.
And then their family would be different.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess that's one of those things that you could say everything happens for a reason. Like there is a reason why the mom didn't find out. The universe was protecting her bliss at that point. And now things are changing.
Yeah. I'm also cracking up at the part where she's like, my brothers will handle it. Like, it sounds like they're like part of the mob or something.
That's so true.
Like,
who are your brothers handling this? They're like, if the mistress from 10 years ago tries to come to our house, my brothers will handle
Don't worry
it.
about it. Yeah. And our mom will never find out.
Yeah.
It's like she never came here.
I kind of love that the brothers are looking out for the mom. It's almost like they have good intent. Maybe the impact of what they decide may or may not be what the mom would have wanted, but they do have good intention. They're trying to just preserve her happiness.
Yeah.
And preserve the idea that she has of her own marriage, whether or not that's a good thing.
Oh, poor mom.
I know. I think I'm kind of undecided too. So if it were you in this exact situation and you were the wife?
Yeah, I would say same as you. Like if I was older, don't tell me. I'd rather just carry on.
Yeah.
With like my own version of reality and like what I think my marriage is.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of exactly what the original question is asking.
Right.
It's like, would you want to receive a piece of information that changes your perception of your own reality?
Right.
And if you love your own reality, maybe the answer is no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think 65, 70, that's the cutoff for if you want to know or not.
Because then, like, if you do separate and people can get married at all ages, but, like, I just feel like your chances of finding maybe another partner in life go down.
Yes.
So not that people are lonely if they're not married or anything, but, like, I don't know, like, if you're used to spending, like, your life with a partner and going through ups and downs with someone at your side, and then all of a sudden they're gone and it's, like, later in life, like, that's a very hard adjustment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to go through that.
Totally. No, that would be so hard.
Yeah, it'd be very sad, potentially.
But is it harder to live with a cheater? But you wouldn't know you're living with a cheater. It's so hard.
The world may never know.
Wow. Okay, I need to know other people's opinions on these things.
Yeah.
So please comment on all of our videos and our podcast because I need to hear some other opinions. And maybe we will expand our thought process.
Yeah.
Trish, this one is kind of relevant to us because we're cousins. So we can speak from direct experience if this was us.
Love it.
Me and my cousin found out my mom, who just died, was in love with my uncle, her sister's husband. Now we think he might be my dad. I don't want to destroy any families or make my aunt hate her dead sister. Should I take a DNA test with my cousin and risk ruining the family or just forget about it? I'm 18 male. My mom died in a car accident a few weeks ago. My cousin and I were going through my mom's old stuff and we found letters to my uncle. He was a soldier, so I knew she wrote him letters sometimes, but these weren't sent, and they were explicit, talking about her feelings for him. They start a little after around when my aunt and uncle met and went up to about 2 days before my mom died. I know these weren't meant to be seen, and I know that if my mom knew she was about to die, she would have burned them, which is what I'm going to do with them. Maybe my cousin and I smoked too much weed, but we were thinking about it, and we're both the same age. I'm a few months older. I never knew my dad. My mom said it was just a fling, and he was into bad shit, so she she never told him she was pregnant. I've lived across the street from my aunt and uncle my entire life. My mom bought the house across from them before I was born. I'm not related to him, but I look like him. I thought that was just because my mom said that my uncle and my biological dad, that I never knew, were the same nationality.
This is like complex, kind of.
I know. I'm scared to do that ancestry shit with my cousin now. I want to find out, but I also don't want to break up my cousin's family. She says I should do it. She said if her dad cheated on her mom should know, but she doesn't want to tell her parents her suspicions, so it would be me. I think it's fucked, and I would tell my... It is. I think it's fucked I would tell my aunt about the letters in the first place. I don't want her to get mad at my dead mom. I don't know what to do. Ooh, that is very complex. Okay.
So the letters started right when the uncle like met the sisters, essentially.
Yes.
And continued up until like right before the mom died.
Yes.
So 18 years at least.
That's crazy. Right? Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That she wrote these letters every few days or weeks for 18 years. Holy shit. I mean, it's apparent she was in love with him.
Yeah. But they were never sent, so like...
Did the uncle know?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Very interesting about OP's biological dad. So OP's biological dad, according to his mother, was the same nationality as the uncle. So that would explain why they look alike. Or does it?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's not as black and white as, oh, if I tell my aunt, she's going to hate my mom and it's going to break up her family because my dad cheated and blah, blah, blah. Like we don't know what would happen.
Right.
It's possible that the aunt knows that the uncle had an affair. It's possible the uncle never had an affair. And maybe the aunt knew OP's biological father and she could back up the story.
That's true, yeah.
Maybe the aunt had suspicions that the mom was in love with the uncle. So I feel like we don't have enough information to say for sure what would happen if the aunt were to be confronted with these letters. Mm-hmm. I guess also the letters are kind of irrelevant to whether the uncle is OP's dad or not. Mm-hmm. So if the uncle is OP's dad, the letters are still kind of irrelevant, right?
Right.
Like, unfortunately, the mom passed away, so the letters it doesn't matter. I agree with them that the aunt doesn't have to just hate her dead sister. I don't think there's any reason for that. It's not going to bring her any joy in life. So, if the aunt found out that her husband cheated and her nephew is actually her son.
And this is all a few months after she lost her sister.
Right.
So, I'm also wondering, like, the son is definitely dealing with some heavy grief right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's looking for some kind of, like, I don't know, parental connection. Aww. Like, outside of his mom, or...
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. You know, like, what if this is, like, a strange way that he's dealing with the grief?
That's an interesting take because, yeah, it's possible that his grief is just making his mind spiral, but the evidence in the letters is there. But, yeah, just because the letters exist doesn't mean that her feelings were reciprocated by the uncle.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think one positive thing is regardless of if the uncle is the dad or not, and even if the aunt and uncle get divorced, like, it seems like they're a great family and OP is close with them. So he still has these people in his life regardless of if they stay married or not. So that's good, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Should OP tell the aunt? I feel like he should wait a little bit.
I personally would do the DNA test.
I would too.
I would be going crazy not knowing.
I would do it for myself at least.
Yeah. Then you would have to decide what to do because obviously if the results come back, you know, with like not the uncle not being the father, then you don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
So
great point.
You can save the heartbreak of this whole situation. But yeah, if the results come back a little fishy, then
I think if the results came back that the uncle is the dad, OP could talk to the uncle first and try to get a little more information because, like I said, we don't know what the aunt knows. Sometimes things happen and people keep secrets for 18 years and they take them to the grave. So it is possible that the aunt knows about the potential affair or whatever. So I feel like going to the uncle first might be a good idea and then get information from the uncle. And if you want the aunt to know at that point, I would say deeply think about it for a long time before making a decision, and maybe get therapy before making a decision. I think that would help you a lot. So
everyone needs therapy.
facts. Yeah, I think maybe the therapy should start now.
Yeah.
So maybe the order of events is therapy for the extreme and traumatic loss and grief, and then down the line, DNA test for yourself. If it comes back negative that this cousin is your cousin and the uncle is your uncle, you're done. And then if it comes back that the uncle is the dad, talk to the uncle, talk to a therapist, and then reconsider telling the aunt. And I think you'll have more clarity once all of those steps have been taken first.
Yes.
Wow. I think that's what I would do if it was our family.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
To just jump right to the conclusion.
Yeah, totally. And I think that if it was our family, at least, the outcome would still be positive regardless of what it was, because I think when families are mature and there's just so much love for everyone, positive outcomes are possible.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, like, if this was like your parents and then I had to confront them with something, maturity and love will hopefully help you.
Yes, I agree.
That one was hard.
Yeah.
I think I have a quick answer to this one, so I'm curious to see what you think. How do I tell my parents that they came from the same sperm donor? I'm 16 and my parents are both 34. I did a 23andMe test and received my results. By looking at my relatives, I found out that my parents came from the same sperm donor and are half siblings. I do not have any health issues and my parents don't even look alike at all. So it's easy to understand why they had no idea, but I feel like they should know. How do I tell them gently? I don't want to hurt them.
I don't think you would be hurting them.
Really?
I feel like that's like the wrong word. Like, I don't think, hurt. Don't feel like you're like offending them by saying that.
Okay. Yeah. So it would be a different kind of hurt.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Okay. I think ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I think that the damage is done and OP doesn't need to share this information. OP probably shouldn't have biological children in their life. They should just make that decision now. That would be a very mature thing to do. I know they're only 16, so it's really hard to think about that. But if I found out that my parents were from the same sperm donor and were half siblings, I would not have biological children because you wouldn't want to put anyone else at risk of health issues. But I feel like the damage is done. Like, it's not going to change their life. If they're done having kids, it's not going to change their life to know this information.
Right.
It would only hurt them and make them sad and question themselves.
Right. Exactly.
Which is like, what's the point?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm just like shocked. Like, how does that happen? I mean, I guess people like find out their cousins and stuff when they're dating. I feel like that's common, but wow, what are the odds? Well, what was that that doctor?
Yes.
That has like 100+ children?
Yes.
I guess this can happen because
yes, there was a documentary about a doctor that I guess worked in fertility, and when he would do IVF to women, he would use his own sperm.
Yes.
I might be using the wrong terminology. I don't know. When he was supposed to be using a sperm donor's sperm to get a woman pregnant, he would use his own.
Yes.
So then he had hundreds of children and it all started coming out of the woodwork. And I think they all met up at some point, right?
Yes, I think so. Or a lot of them.
Yeah. And it's like 100. That's a lot, especially if they live in a small town or the same area.
Right.
The odds of some of them meeting and potentially engaging in a romantic relationship, isn't that slim?
Yeah.
Which is so scary. That is an interesting point. Like, when you use a sperm donor, should you tell your children that so that they can do their best to avoid any other potential matches? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, like if you have biological children, obviously they know who their family is for the most part. Like, in a very typical family, you know who your first cousins are. You kind of can figure out who your second cousins are. And then after that, I feel like, not that I'm gonna hook up with my third cousins, but isn't like everyone on earth like your 10th
somewhat
cousin
related,
or something?
yeah.
Or like the degree of relation after like sibling, first cousin, second cousin is basically nothing. So if you were to, I could be so wrong about this, but I think that if you were to marry your 7th cousin and have kids with them, the relation is so far away that it actually wouldn't even matter. So, okay, I got a little bit off topic, but if you use a sperm donor when you have children, it's very possible that someone else would use the same sperm donor. So should you tell your children that they were conceived from a sperm donor so that they can avoid engaging in romantic relationships with someone else from the same donor? I feel like yes.
Yeah. Also, like, they would probably need to know their health history,
right?
Too. So I just feel like you need to tell people that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, for different reasons. But yes.
To get back to OP's question, how do I tell my parents? I don't think they need to know.
No. I was going to say, so technically they're like genetically half siblings, but they didn't grow up as half siblings. So like the information could make them question a lot of stuff, but it shouldn't change their relationship because their only relationship that they know is like their romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if they're happy, and at least their OP like knows that, and so now they know that genetic information about themselves if they were to need that in the future.
Exactly.
But it's almost like the parents don't need to know that they're related, maybe.
Yes, yeah. I completely agree. I think that's the answer. This conversation reminds me of a topic that you might have heard about on TikTok, but this was semi-recently. There were these two girls on TikTok, and they were both influencers, and they started dating. They made a lot of content based around their relationship. They were like the cute couple on TikTok, whatever, but everyone would be like, oh my God, you guys look so much alike. You look like you could be sisters. And then as their relationship progressed, I think they were like a year and a half, maybe 2 years in. That might not be completely accurate, but they were hanging out with their moms, and it turns out that both of these girls were conceived through a one-night stand. Their moms lived in the same area. Their moms hooked up with the same man or somebody with the same name. And so they started getting scared, and they're like, wait, what if we're sisters? And they did a 23andMe, and you don't get your results back immediately. So they were making content surrounding this whole situation, and they were being honest about what was happening and telling all their followers, look, guys, we might be sisters. And everyone was like, if you guys are sisters, are you going to keep dating? Like, what is going to happen here? And it seems like an obvious answer if you wanted to have biological kids with somebody. It's like, no, you cannot have biological kids knowingly with your sibling.
Yes.
But they're in a same-sex relationship, so they're never going to have biological kids together.
Right.
So I feel like this is another thing that's going to make me sound so whack. But like, if you were dating a girl or someone the same sex as you, and so you were never going to have kids with them, and you were deeply in love with them, and your relationship was flawless, and you found out they were your half sibling, but you weren't raised as siblings. The only thing making you siblings is, like you said, their genetics.
Yeah.
Would you break up, or would you pretend it never happened and just move on?
I feel like with a lot of stuff, I'm not good at blocking it out, and it would be on my mind all the time.
Yeah.
And I think if I tried to be romantic with someone, in the back of my head, I would always be like, this is weird. Like, this isn't right.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point, because it's easy to be like, oh, I would just forget about it. But how could you forget about it? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might be in the same headspace.
Yeah. It would just ruin stuff for me. And I would always think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would try to initially break up with them, and then who knows? The world works in mysterious ways. Maybe if you reconnect or you break up and try to move on, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you come back to each other. Who knows?
Process it for a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you're in a better space. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seek therapy. I would definitely seek therapy.
Yes.
But that's so hard.
Yeah.
My sister Erin and I, we also recorded an episode that was going to be our first episode, but it never came out. But we talked about this, and the whole time, every story, we were like, so would I date my cousin? I think I would, yeah. And then we're like, what are we saying?
Literally, we're like, what would I do if I was in a same-sex relationship and
with
I
my
found
sister?
out it was my sister?
Yeah, I know. And then we're like, what kind of image are we painting for ourselves?
Right.
But when you start reading all the facts, you're like, wait, these are so much more complicated than you think it is.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll revisit that episode and refilm it, but it's such an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Turns out those sisters... Oh, do you want to know if the sisters were or
I was
not?
just going to ask. You can't leave me hanging.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were not sisters.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah,
okay.
So they
continued
to date. I don't know what they're doing now. I wish the best for them. They seem very sweet, but shit.
Yeah, I would say in that case, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Part of me also is like, if they were sisters, they know what kind of backlash they're going to get as public public figures if they were to stay together.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they would, I don't know. It's very shocking that they could be that honest from day one and share this whole thing. Like, that is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'd be so scared to share something so deep and personal and controversial.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them, I guess, for that. It's very interesting. A lot of their comments, though, were saying, like, if they are sisters, they're not going to tell us. They're going to fake the results. They're going to pretend like they were negative or like they were botched or something. But they did show the results.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that it's impossible to fake it, but I believe them. I honestly feel like it would be more weird if they were sisters. Because what are the odds? Like, and it might have been just a guy with the same name. Like, and they didn't even confirm that it was the same guy.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, crazy. I snooped on my girlfriend's phone and I found pics that I shouldn't have seen. Me, 23 male, and my girlfriend, 21 female, have been dating for a little over a year now. No problems at all. Best relationship I've ever had. I had no suspicion of anything, just was a little nosy about her past relationships since she hadn't opened up much about it. I went on her phone when she was sleeping and scrolled through her Snapchat memories and eventually got to a point where she was with her previous boyfriend a couple years before we got together. At the time, they were both 18 to 19. I am fine seeing pics of her with him since we were friends at this point of her life, but then I saw a photo of her doing sexual acts with him. This just made me feel ill, and I don't know who to talk to about it. Obviously, this is my fault for snooping, and I know she isn't interested in him anymore. Her Snapchat memories are just huge, so I know she's just too lazy to go through and delete everything. But now I feel like I've been acting weird towards her because that pic is all I can think about. I also have no idea who to talk to about this to get it off my chest. Ugh, OP. Okay, I feel like if you look for dirt, you're gonna find it. If you look for drama, you're gonna find it, even if it's not really even there. So it was probably a mistake to go on her phone, especially if you trust her.
Right.
You have no suspicions of anything. I guess that it could have just been positive curiosity. Like, maybe he was like, oh, I just want to see all of her old memories, but just ask her to show you.
Right.
Because I'm sure if she loves you like she probably does, she would have known that that photo would hurt you. So she would have just deleted it before you saw it. And you already mentioned that the only reason it's not deleted already is just because she's lazy and doesn't have time to go back through her memories, which I think is very valid.
Yes.
So yes, you're right. You should not have seen that. But I think you got to get it off your chest. I feel like he has to be honest with her now.
Yeah. Yeah. I went into her phone while she was asleep too. Like, come on. I don't know. If you're insecure in your relationship, you should not go snooping. Because like you said, you're going to find something. I think you need to ask and be upfront. And if you trust them to be honest with you, I feel like that's helpful because then they'll tell you what you do want to hear, what you don't want to hear. But like, that's the truth. And you can move on after that. Yeah, don't go snooping.
Yeah, that's bad. Actually, the top comment is, if you go looking for trouble, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find it.
True.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he needs to tell her what he did and tell her how it's making him feel.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry, but if she's mad at you, that's fine. She might get mad at you, and she has the right to be mad and upset. I don't know if that would be relationship ruining. I feel like if my boyfriend looked through my Snapchat memories and he was like, I just wanted to see, I would be like, what?
I know.
I would be like, I would have just showed it to you.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would end a relationship over it, but
no.
I don't know.
But yeah, with relationships, like obviously if she's dated someone in the past, like she has most likely engaged in sexual acts with her partner. Yeah. So that's no secret. But like I get it, like seeing a picture of it is different than just like the like assumption that it has happened. So in this case, ignorance is definitely bliss as far as like the picture goes. But like, I mean, you're not really that ignorant to the fact that like she's been with other people before. Yeah. So I don't know. You can't get that annoyed at her. Yeah. For that. And then yeah, of course, like saving the picture. Like who's gonna go back years into their Snapchat memories and delete stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think OP said, I have no idea who to talk to about this to get it off my chest. I think that you talk to her to get it off your chest, and you apologize and explain the reason for your actions, explain how it made you feel, apologize, and ask if there's anything that you can do to regain any trust that she might have lost in you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't go snooping, because you don't need to see things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to see everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well said.
I'm like stuttering over my words. Well said. I hate knowing that my coworker is cheating on his wife. I work in an office with a married couple, Abby and Bob. Bob is 28 male, and he has started talking to my friend Kathy, 19 female. Bob would constantly tell Kathy that he is divorcing Abby, and that the only reason they haven't yet is he can't afford to move out, and it's better for their kids. Bob would tell Kathy there is nothing going on with Abby, and Bob would tell Abby that there's nothing going on with Kathy. Bob and Kathy started seeing and sleeping with each other since Bob told her it's over between he and Abby, and that he's divorcing her and they're never getting back together. Every time Abby's at work, Bob always ignores Kathy and is with Abby. Abby still loves Bob and doesn't want a divorce. I have gone to Bob and Abby's home, and I'm friends with Bob and only talk slightly to Abby. I recently found out when other people have trained Abby that all they can see is Abby and Bob flirting and how bad Bob wants her. So I'm pretty sure Bob is lying to both girls and is using my friend. It hurts me to see Abby at work because she doesn't want to get a divorce, and she thinks they can fix this, not knowing that her husband is already sleeping around and talking bad about her. Oh my God, wow. Bob sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that these fake names rhyme almost.
I
Abby,
know.
Kathy. Like, couldn't we just use like Julie and Rachel?
Exactly.
Okay. So basically, Bob is two-timing the both of them. This is fricked.
Mm-hmm.
Bob is absolutely fricked, and it's not fair to either of them.
I mean, just I feel like it's so obvious from the outside. You're just like, they both need to just like say screw Bob and move on, find some better people to hang out with.
Exactly. OP, you gotta tell her. If it's your friend, you gotta tell her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like Kathy, who's the mistress, has that much to lose. Her older boss hit on her. He lied to her. It's not gonna break her heart, you know? She's hooking up with him. She's not in love with him. It's not her soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll hurt her. Maybe she'll be sad because she'll be like, oh, wait, I was actually starting to like him. In the long run, she will thank you for telling her the truth. She deserves to know the truth. Get Kathy out of the situation.
Yes.
Save her now.
Yes.
Then you can talk to Abby if she's actually your friend and tell her the truth. Be like, he's been hitting on Kathy. She's the new girl.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know this. He's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not friends with her, you could also tell her anonymously and just sign it from someone in the office. Provide her evidence, and that's it. That's all you can do.
Yep.
After she is presented with the truth and the information, she can do what she wants with it. She's an adult, but they both have to know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way.
Exactly. And hopefully they can just both tell Bob to get lost.
Exactly.
He's a loser.
Bob can frick off.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't deserve either of them.
Case closed.
Done. Easy.
On a similar wavelength, my friend is cheating on his girlfriend, and I don't know what to do. A male friend of mine is publicly cheating on his girlfriend unbeknownst to her, and I don't know what to do. He and I are not very close, but he has been a good friend to me in terms of partying together, inviting me to his family vacation home as part of a group trip, etc. As time has gone on, it's been made obvious that he is pretty slimy in a lot of ways, including the way he treats women in his life. As a woman, I feel a loyalty to his girlfriend, even though I do not know her very well, besides meeting her a few times. Should I talk to my friend first and tell him I know what's going on and it's making me and others uncomfortable? Do I tell his girlfriend, or do I mind my own business? I hate being associated with this kind of behavior, and it's making me stressed to see them carrying on as if nothing is happening when I know he is hurting her behind her back.
I mean, there's still hope. They're not married, you know?
I mean, they gotta break up.
Yeah.
They gotta break up right now.
Yes.
I mean, yes, you need to tell her.
Yes,
absolutely.
She needs to know.
Someone needs to tell her. Maybe it doesn't have to be from your mouth to her ears. Maybe it can be a note, an email, an anonymous Instagram DM. Maybe you can talk to one of her close friends and say, look, you know her better than I do, but this is the truth and she needs to know it. So then you're not even getting involved. You're just the bearer of bad news and somebody else can lay it down to her. Regardless, she needs to know. And you could still talk to him about it if you genuinely value the friendship and you want him to become a better person. But it seems like they're not that close anyway.
Right.
It seems like they're just in the same friend group and she gets invited to these things. If you're in a big friend group and someone is actively cheating on their partner, you're friends with your friends for a reason. Odds are the people that you're closer with in this friend group have the same morals as you do. OP clearly thinks this is wrong. She clearly recognizes that it's wrong. So it's very likely that other people in your friend group also recognize that this is wrong.
Right.
So I really don't think there's any way that things could go terribly wrong for her. You can always keep it anonymous. I feel like that's just the easiest way if you want to not be involved at all.
Yeah.
Anonymous message.
You still want those vacation invites, you know?
Wait, so true. Still trying to get invited to the beach house.
I know.
So, yeah.
It's a win-win.
Do anonymous. Anonymous, and you keep your ticket to the vacation home, and everybody wins. And then if he cheats on the next girl, same thing. And maybe this isn't the best person to be friends with. Maybe it's
also,
worth, in the future, if the cycle continues, maybe it's worth giving up the beach house trips. But I don't think you're going to lose too much if you're removing this person with no morals out of your life. So tell the truth. This one is just a goofy one to end on, but I thought it was kind of funny. My girlfriend, 25 female, says she would choose to be with a fictional, non-existent character over me, 25 male, if given the chance. Am I wrong to feel hurt by this? We've both gone back and forth on this subject many times. Essentially, she has a huge fan crush on Thranduil. Guys, I have no idea what this means. Thranduil from Lot R. I have no idea who that is. So in my mind, I'm just going to say Edward Cullen.
Perfect.
From Twilight.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind at all. However, she also says that if there was a choice between me and the character, she would choose him over me without hesitation. She would always choose me in real life, but in this hypothetical, fictional scenario, she would choose the character. Her point of view is that he's a fictional character and that he will never exist, so this scenario will never occur. My point of view is that she loves this character more than me and considers him to be better than me, even though he's not real and never will be. She's telling me there's not even a competition between me, who's real, and the character, who's fake. Am I wrong to take this personally, or should I let it go?
I'm dead.
What the fuck is this girlfriend thinking? Please. Girly! A fictional character?
And to go as far as to say that it's like no competition.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Something that you do not need to tell your boyfriend.
No.
It's just so bizarre.
Yeah, the conversation never needed to happen. Or the multiple conversations.
No. But then I'm like, also, do we want OP to be with a partner that would choose to date Edward Cullen over him at all times?
Right.
Like, is that person emotionally mature? And if she's even thinking about another guy, should she be in a relationship with this guy?
I know.
Even if the other guy isn't real?
This is making me think of, like, when people say, oh, like, I can't be the only one that had a crush on, like, teenage Simba when I was little. Like, that's, like, what I'm thinking.
Teenage Simba was kind of bad, though.
I know. I'm dead. I'm cracking up that someone would literally go to their partner and be like, yeah, just so you know, like, there's literally no competition. Like, I would choose this fictional person over you.
And then OP was probably like, but babe, why would you say that? Like, I love you so much. And the girl was like, well, I mean, it's never going to happen, so you don't have to worry about it. But if it did happen, I would choose him.
Yeah, sorry. That's the truth. Like,
what?
I know.
After reading that, I was like, okay, if she never told you about this love that she has for the character, in theory, nothing would change in the relationship because, like OP said, the character's not real. Should he have never found out this information and ignorance is bliss, or should he act on this because this information is kind of telling about the girl?
Right.
I am so confused. Like, maybe she doesn't even know what she's saying. Like,
right.
maybe it's just coming out wrong. Like, maybe when she's thinking about this, she's not thinking about her actual relationship. She's putting herself in this fake world where vampires and werewolves exist. And she's like, yeah, I would want to live in that fake world any chance I got. But it's like, would you actually?
Mm-hmm.
You want to live in the idea of it, but would you actually give up your life to go live in like Harry Potter world or something, or like Edward Cullen world?
Yeah.
Like, maybe some people would, but okay, so that sparks the question. If your partner was so obsessed with Harry Potter and they were like, I would do anything to go and be at Hogwarts and live in the world of Harry Potter for real, I would leave my whole life. Would you want to date that person? They clearly love it more than they love you.
I know. Well, I was going to say, I'm not being serious, but I honestly might be dating that person right now. But no, I'm kidding. But Matt does love Harry Potter a lot, so.
What if he was like, if I had to choose between you and Hermione, I would choose her 100% of the time. But
like,
she's
no
not
question.
Real. She's not real, so it's never going to happen. But if it did, she's my one.
Well, like, the funny part about that, personally, for me, is that I do bring up hypotheticals sometimes and ask and force him to answer these questions. So if he were to ever do that to me, I would take it seriously back, and I'd be like, how could you say that? I'd be like, how could you love Hermione more than me? But anyways, being like, you know, a reasonable person, I don't know. I think I would still not want to date him because I think that just sounds kind of crazy to me.
Yes, agreed. Like, if someone told me I would rather date the Little Mermaid than date you, and if given the chance, I would pick the mermaid every time, I'd be like, girlie, go find the mermaid.
Yes.
What? It's just so weird. I think it's good he knows.
Yes.
And I think he can reassess.
Yeah. Depending on the type of person he is, he can change his personality traits to match her favorite character. Like, what if that's what she's saying? What if she's like, be more like this person?
Wait, ew. Yeah, what if that's like her subconscious way of wanting him to be like the character?
Yeah.
Equally problematic.
Yes. Yeah, leave. You gotta leave.
Yeah. So
no matter
bizarre.
what.
Or maybe she's just like so deep in this bit that she doesn't understand how much it's hurting you. And she's like, oh yeah, but like it would never happen, so like don't even get sad about it. And maybe when you explain to her how much it's hurting you because you're thinking about it in a serious way, like, sure, like I know the character's not real, but if given the chance to live in this fake world, it seems like you would rather live in a fake world over your own reality. So your own reality is lacking something, and that makes me sad as a partner. Maybe if you explained it to her that way, she'd be like, oh babe, like it was a joke, like I don't actually think that. Or maybe she'll get to the root of her deep issues. Yes. And you'll help her that way.
I'm dead.
I just like can't imagine, because you know, like every teenage girl is like, I'm obsessed with Edward Cullen and Harry Potter, and I don't know who's like the cutest character in Harry Potter. I don't even watch it or read it.
Oh, the guy from the Russian school or whatever.
The dark-haired guy?
Yeah, Victor.
Oh yeah.
Victor, right?
I don't know. I've only seen a few of them.
Okay, he's like a side of a side character. Like he's like not important, but I feel like that's the one in one of the movies. Like the girls were actually all like.
Is it the movie Goblet of Fire?
Yes.
Yes, I just know that one because Robert Pattinson's in it. And
yes, exactly.
He's my celebrity crush, and so that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's my favorite Harry Potter movie.
Yes, makes sense.
And that's why I'm relating this to Edward Cullen, because I think Robert Pattinson is so hot. He's my number one celebrity crush. So I'm like, there's not many guys I would choose over Robert Pattinson. So I'm kind of on her side now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think it's weird. I think it's so bizarre. And I would not want to be with someone that would choose a celebrity, an idea of someone, anything else over me.
I'm just cracking up that OP like took to Reddit to write about this. Like that it's like such a
sad for OP. He's really going through it.
It's an actual issue.
Yes. I think talk to her about it, and if she keeps the same mindset and she dies on the hill of like, you shouldn't be sad because it's never going to happen, but yes, I would choose them.
Yeah.
That's just weird and selfish, and I think not the one for you.
Yes.
If it makes you upset, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, case closed. She's whack. Here's a fun fact about me. One time, it was like 2 years ago, over the winter, I went through a phase where I was just weirdly obsessed with all the Twilight movies. Not for the first time. I've seen them all many times, but this one particular week, I watched them all on repeat, at least 2 a day for at least 7 days.
Oh my God.
And they're so good. And there's this one scene, if there's any Robert Pattinson fans out there, there's this one scene in Eclipse. It's after Jacob kisses Bella without her consent, and he rushes her home. She punched him in the face. She broke her hand. And then Edward shows up at the house at the same time, and he gets out of the car and he like runs over to Jacob and he's like, if you ever put your hands on her again. And then Jacob's like, she wanted it, or some stupid shit. Jacob. And then Edward goes, wait for her to say the words. And I'm just like, what? Oh my God. I never felt this way before. Robert Pattinson, please.
Waiting for that consent.
He's so hot.
That's so funny.
Love him.
I have to confess, I haven't seen all of the
Twilight
movies.
Have you seen all the Harry Potters though?
Yes.
Okay, we're opposites in that way.
Yeah.
I just like do not care about Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
Except for the one that Robert Pattinson's in. That one is so good.
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire slaps.
I remember my friends wanted to go see some of the Twilight movies in theaters, and I didn't want to be left out, so I went. But I was like, I have no idea, like, what's going on. And like, they were all like, they loved it. And I'm like, I'm so lost. I don't know. But I'm like, I can't be left out, so I have to go.
Of course.
That's the only time I've seen them.
Yeah. They're so ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're not inherently good movies, but I'm so emotionally attached to them at this point. I can't stop watching them. And I could watch them any day, anytime. I love them. I'm a Twilight stan, baby.
Was that was 2020 then when you were doing
it?
Okay,
yeah.
Weird time. It's okay.
It was during COVID.
Yeah.
And then actually Tricia's sister Julia, I told her about this and she's like, there's a reason why we go back to shows and movies that we're familiar with. It's because we're dealing with psychological torment and we need something that comforts us. That's why so many people rewatch The Office time and time again and they can't get themselves to watch. And I was like, oh my God.
I'm dead.
I was like, you're diagnosing me right now, please. I just like Robert Pattinson.
Julia speaking wisdom.
I know.
Like really scary wisdom.
I know. I was like, wait, low-key, you might be right though.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Julia will just come out with these like psychological diagnoses like out of nowhere. Like I'll say something and she's like, well, the reason for that is like this. I'm like, I wasn't ready to hear that right now.
I know. And also her major in college is fashion merchandising. So I'm like, how do you know this?
Yeah.
But it seems right. Whatever she's saying. I'm like, you know what? That checks out.
I'm dead. She's like, you're dealing with some trauma, just so you know.
I know. I'm like, okay, well, Edward's helping me deal with it.
Yeah.
So just let me have this.
Leave me alone.
Okay. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
I hope you guys liked our little tangent at the end. I think people like it when it's more personal. I didn't think that was going to be the feedback we received. But
oh, really?
Yeah. So many people were like, talk about yourselves and your hosts and get to know you. And I was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's my fun fact then.
I know. I'm like afraid to go off on tangents. I feel like sometimes I'm like, no one cares. And also like, I don't know, I sound just so like I say like 100 times, like.
That's okay.
So, but if that's what the people want, then they'll get it. I guess.
I think we should. I think it's good to be personal and I think it gives context to where our advice and opinions are coming from.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I think is interesting because then when we have the chance to talk to people in the future, like what I'm getting at is we would love to do more where we can interact with listeners down the line when it's a possibility. So sharing about who we truly are and where our opinions and beliefs come from, I think is valuable.
Yeah.
Because then when we hear other people's opinions and beliefs, we can learn about where they come from and it will only help us all be more open-minded and learn from each other.
I love that.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to our podcast. We have so much fun doing it. This episode was so fun.
Yeah,
I loved this one.
It was a good one.
Yeah. Is ignorance bliss? I guess it depends on the situation. And it's not black and white.
No.
That's facts.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.